for reading, today and tomorrow and then next week, because we only have 3 days of school next week. There's no school Monday and there's no school Friday. Okay, so for these next 5 days that we have, not counting Friday, because I figure Friday's gonna be a little chaotic with all of the Halloween things that we'll be doing. So for these next 5 other school days, we are going to be looking at a new story. So make sure you are in the table of contents at the beginning of your book. We are still in Unit 2. We're going to be looking at Lesson 9. Do you see where Lesson 9 is? All right. What page does the Kamishibai Man start on? Does everybody see it? Point to that page number. Look across from there. All right. Go ahead and turn to that page. Look over on the left-hand side of your book. The left-hand side of page 290. Okay, the vocabulary that goes with this is the word familiar. And then underneath that is applause. Do you know what applause is? What is applause? Okay. Vacant. Have you ever heard that word? Vacant. It means it's empty. Rickety.
What, like, something shaking?
Okay.
Leaning
If
over?
it's rickety, is it in good shape? Or is it in kind of poor shape? Like if you think of a, have you ever seen a desk that has wobbly legs on it? Or have you ever seen like an old, yeah, it could be an old chair where it looks like it's about to fall apart. That means rickety. Up over on the right-hand column of those words, we have the word blurry. You know what that is, don't you? Is it clear or not clear if it's blurry?
Not clear.
Not clear. What about blasted? What do you think that is?
Like it kind of like explodes.
Pull your mask up.
Like
Like it explodes? Okay. What are you thinking? So her example, she used the word. She didn't give us an idea of what she thinks it means. But she said a rocket ship blasted into space. What do you think blasted means then? Okay, Amy?
It like means when something goes in the air, like if it goes in the air by something or if it goes just straight forward.
Okay. Connor?
That like, that something goes really fast. Yeah.
Okay. Jenny?
Like it goes everywhere.
It goes everywhere, is that what you said? Okay. Well, we'll see if what you're thinking, because a lot of your examples were kind of similar. We'll see if your examples are how that word is being used in this story. Underneath blasted is jerky. What? Do you think they're talking about beef jerky?
No.
Okay, so what would jerky mean then? Can't hear you. Mean? Like being a jerk? Okay.
Like if someone was mean to somebody and
Okay, you're gonna have to talk really loud because they won't be able to hear you on our videos. And with masks on, it's even more important to speak louder, okay?
like if someone was being mean to you, you might have a nickname like Jerky.
So just like what she said, Connor,
That like you're not feeling good.
okay. Were you raising your hand or no? Alright, so let's be listening for that word as we read the story today too. And then the last one is rude. You've all heard that word, right? So what do you think rude is, Amy?
Mean.
Mean? Connor?
Not kind.
Not kind? Unfriendly? You're gonna have to speak louder. Forget it? Okay, alright, let's keep looking down. We're gonna talk about cause and effect again. Remember doing that, I don't know, a story or two or three stories ago, I can't remember when it was. But because you jumped in the mud puddle, what's the effect? You're all muddy, or you're all wet, right? So that's just an easy example of cause and effect, but we're gonna work on things like that. And we're gonna talk about the different cause and effects in the story. Jump down to the genre. It says it is realistic fiction. If it's fiction, is it something that really happened? No, but it says right in front of it, realistic. Is it a story that could maybe happen? Yeah, so they say realistic fiction is a story with events that could happen in real life. But did they happen in real life? No. All right, the essential question over in the bottom right-hand corner asks, how can a new invention cause people's lives to change? Are there new inventions all the time? Yeah. Are they always coming out with like, think about telephones, like that telephone back there. Do very many people still have those? Why not? What was the invention that kind of took those kinds of phones places?
Because when the cell phone.
Yeah, a cell phone was a new invention. At one time, was an iPad an invention? Was a computer an invention? Was a paperclip an invention? Was a pencil an invention? Yeah, so we're gonna be thinking about this question as we read this story. How can a new invention cause people's lives to change? Because we're gonna see that change in this story. All right, so go ahead and turn the page. We're just gonna listen, because I figure it's gonna be easier to hear it on here than me trying to read it with the mask on. Are you ready?
Kamishibai Man by Alan Say. Essential question. How is a live performance different from other kinds of entertainment? Not so long ago in Japan, in a small house on a hillside, there lived an old man and his wife. Even though they never had children of their own, they called each other Ji-chan and Ba-chan. Ji-chan is grandpa and Ba-chan is grandma. One day Ba-chan said, "Ji-chan, you haven't said a word in 3 days." I've been thinking how much I miss going on my rounds," he said. Ba-chan stared. "How many years has it been?" she asked. Yes, quite a while, but my legs are good and I've kept the bicycle in good order." "I don't know, but one day won't hurt, I suppose. Should I make some candies?" "That would be very nice," Ji-chan said. I've been thinking how much I miss going on my rounds," he said. Ba-chan stared. "How many years has it been?" she asked. Yes, quite a while, but my legs are good and I've kept the bicycle in good order." "I don't know, but one day won't hurt, I suppose. Should I make some candies?" "That would be very nice," Ji-chan said.
It went over.
The next day, Ji-chan
What
rode his
happened?
bicycle down the hillside.
It went over. So it went.
Oh,
in
did
and
it?
It went over. Because we were confused.
Okay, well, is it back on track?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the first light of morning. How many years has it been?" he asked himself. "And do I remember such a fine morning? All is so fresh and young. Well, good morning to you, rickety old bridge. Still going strong after all these years. He began to hum a tune that his mother used to sing when he was a small boy. When he came to the city, he stopped humming. "This isn't right," he said. "I must have taken a wrong turn. But there's that old house I used to go by every afternoon." A car horn blasted at him, then another. "Why are there so many cars all of a sudden? Look at these tall buildings. You'd think I was in another country." A truck blasted its horn behind him. He pulled into a vacant lot and panted. "Can't a man ride his bicycle in peace? Don't remember such rude drivers." Catching his breath, he looked across the street and gaped. "Can this be? There's that old noodle shop. Used to be the only building here. That and a nice park all around. Now look at all these shops and restaurants. They chopped down all those beautiful trees for them. Who needs to buy so many things and eat so many different foods?" Analyze the text. Cause and effect. The city has grown, causing more traffic. What is another result or effect of the city growing larger and busier? Shaking his head, he slowly took the canvas off the box on his bicycle. He propped up the stage and checked the story cards inside, patting each painting. Then he opened the bottom drawer in the box. You little jewels," he said, and started to hum again. "Thank you, Ba-chan. You make good candies, just like in the old days." From the top drawer, he took out 2 wooden blocks, and holding one in each hand, he hit them together. A sharp, loud clack rang out. "Come gather around me, little ones. Your Kamishibai man is here again." Clack, clack. "Come get your sweets and listen to my stories." Clack, clack, clack. "Ah, yes, I can see you now, all your bright faces, clasping coins in your little hands. So happy to hear my clappers, so happy to see your Kamishibai man. Patience, everyone. You'll get your sweets, each and every one of you. I have all your favorites, red ones and green ones, and the soft ones on sticks. And here comes that boy, the one who never has any money. I'll get to him later. So, which story will it be today? The mighty Peach Boy, born from a giant peach. But wait, let's start at the beginning. Long, long ago, there once lived an old man and his wife who had no children. After the Peach Boy, the Bamboo Princess was a nice change, a gentle story. Then my favorite, the old man who made cherry trees bloom. And when I was finished, you all went home happy except for that poor boy. Would you like a candy? I asked once. He said, I don't like candies, and ran away. Then one night I was going home and saw a crowd of people gathered in front of a shop. They were staring at something called television. I was curious too, but not for long. It showed moving pictures. They were all jerky and blurry and had no colors at all. It wasn't long after that when television antennas started to sprout from the rooftops like weeds in the springtime. And the more they grew, the fewer boys and girls came out to listen to my stories. How can they like those blurry pictures better than my beautiful paintings? I asked. But there was nothing to be done. As I went around the familiar neighborhoods, the children started to act as though they didn't know me anymore. Even so, I went on clacking my clappers, and one day a little girl poked her head out the window and shushed me. Imagine, a little girl shushing me. The Kamishibai man was making too much noise. I sat on a park bench and ate a candy for lunch. How could the world change so quickly? Was I a bad storyteller? Then that boy came, the boy who didn't like candies. Why aren't you watching television? I asked. I don't like television, he said. But you like my stories, I said, and he nodded his little head. I got up and set the stage. What's your favorite story? I asked. Little 1 Inch, he answered. So I told him the story of a brave little boy who was only 1 inch tall. And as I told the story, the boy never looked at the picture cards in the stage. He was looking at me the whole time with his mouth wide open. He even smiled now and then. When I finished the story, I started to take out some sweets to give him, but he was already running away. Wait, I shouted, but he kept running and never turned his head. That was the last time I saw that boy. That was the last day I was a Kamishibai man. Analyze the text. Analyze illustrations. Read the text and look at the illustration. How do the two parts work together to set the mood? I was that boy, a loud voice cried out. Startled, the Kamishibai man looked up and saw that a large crowd had gathered before him. We grew up with your stories, someone else shouted. Tell us Little 1 Inch again, and the Bamboo Princess, the Peach Boy. He started to say something and people began to clap their hands. He took a deep bow and the applause got louder. A young man with a movie camera struggled up to him. They bowed to each other, and as the old man gave him a candy, a roar went up. Look, he has all the same old sweets. just like the old days. And the office clerks and shopkeepers, bankers and waitresses, housewives and delivery men all lined up in a big circle around the Kamishibai man. It was dark when he got home. Ba-chan was watching the evening news. The Kamishibai man was the featured story. "I see you had a busy day," she said. "It was a good day," Ji-chan nodded. "Will you be going out tomorrow?" Yes, and the day after." "Then you need more sweets." "That would be very nice. Could you make it twice the usual amount?" "I'll see if I have enough sugar," she said, and shut the television off.
All right. Leave your books open for right now. And I am going to get the document camera turned on. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about cause and effect as we work through this story. So here in just a minute, you will be getting, I might have to flip the, no, I've got it right. Okay, you're gonna be getting a paper that looks like this. Okay, see how some of it's normal and some of it's upside down? And then we have different causes on this side. But then if I flip it over, you see how one side's blank? And then we have different effects on this other side.
This is Martin. If you are in the building and available, could you take me in the office?
It's because we are going to fold our paper
Please take me in the office. Thank you.
hot dog style. Oh, and I copied it wrong. Mrs. Loving said ding dong. So we'll do this tomorrow after I have it copied correctly. I should have double checked that. But what it's gonna become is like a flip book. You know, the page, the little flaps are gonna fold up. This will be on one side of it. And then this would be, well, no, this'll work. We'll make it work. Okay, so we have the cause on the back side. We're gonna cut on those lines. Can you see the lines that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then we'll lift it up. And this effect under here goes with this cause. But we'll do that in just a minute. For now, what I want you to do is go ahead and hot dog fold your paper and then get your name on it. There's a name line on the side that has the bicycle. And then you can go ahead and cut where these dashed lines are. You have your name? And you have it folded? And then you're just gonna cut up to your fold.
Can I open my pencil real quick?
Alright. Then you can put your scissors away. Okay, but we're not cutting both of them. That's why I opened it up to show you, but it's just the one side. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at our cause and effects. Now, the first cause is blank. Well, I'm looking at that time. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'll bold mine so that it's larger on the screen. Okay. Lift up that flap on that very first cause. And let's read that effect. Everybody looking at this one? Ji-chan has been quiet for 3 days. What caused him to be quiet for 3 days? What should we do to help us find the cause? Text what? Text evidence. So let's go back into our text and find where it talked about him being quiet for 3 days. Was that in the beginning, in the middle, or toward the end of the story? Anybody remember? Jenny?
At the beginning.
It was at the beginning. All right, so I'm gonna flip back to the beginning. I can't turn my pages. What page are you looking on, Natalia? Bless you. She said 292. Do you see where Ba-chan had said, Ji-chan, you haven't said a word in 3 days. Do you see that? Point to what I'm referring to in the text. So what has caused Ji-chan to be quiet for 3 days? Let's look at that next part. Read that with me. I've been thinking how much I miss going on my rounds, he said. So what's caused him to be quiet for 3 days? Okay, so let's go back to the front of this and let's write down the cause for that. What did we just say the cause was?
I've been thinking how much I miss
What does he miss?
going
So let's write that. Ji-chan misses. What did we just say? What does he miss?
I've been
Ji-chan misses what?
going on my rounds.
Going on my round.
Okay, let's write that down. So Ji-chan misses going on his rounds. Ji-chan misses. Oh, tell me again what I need to write.
Going on his rounds.
Okay, thank you. Let's do one more today, okay? So look at the next one. They give us the cause, but we have to figure out the effect, because the effect is the missing part on this. So if we look at this next cause, right next door to that one, Ji-chan is confused when he gets to the city. Find the part where he gets to the city and he's confused. Let's find that text evidence first. What happens because he's confused when he gets to the city? Couldn't remember where I put my book. Has anybody found that part yet? It's right after where we just found our other text evidence, right? Anybody find where he's starting to be confused? Connor, what are you thinking?
I'm at 296.
I would agree with Connor. He says 296. Let's look at that on 296. When he came to the city, he stopped humming. "This isn't right," he said. "I must have taken a wrong turn. But there's that old house I used to go by every afternoon." A car horn blasted at him, then another. "Why are there so many cars all of a sudden? Look at these tall buildings. You'd think I was in another country." A truck blasted its horn behind him. And then he continues on with his confusion, right? Onto that next page. It says, he pulled into a vacant lot and panted. "Can't a man ride his bicycle in peace? Don't remember such rude drivers." Catching his breath, he looked across the street and gaped. "Can this be?" Catching his breath, he looked across, oh sorry, I jumped up above. There's that old noodle shop, used to be the only building here. That and a nice park all around. shops and restaurants. They chop down all those beautiful trees for them. Who needs to buy so many things and eat so many different foods? So what has caused him? Well, the cause is he's confused. But what is the result of that? Ji-chun is confused when he gets to the city. What happens? What are you thinking?
Because there are so many cars and tall buildings.
Okay, so many more cars and tall buildings. What are some of you others thinking?
That he doesn't recognize the stuff around him.
Why not?
Because when he was a little boy, he didn't have this many stuff.
Okay, when he was a younger guy, it didn't have that many things. The city didn't have that many things. Okay, how about if we wait and we'll talk more about this one tomorrow? Because I think some of you are just waiting for others to give them the answers, and you're gonna be doing some of this work, on your own, rather than other people always giving the answers to everybody, okay? So do me a favor. Stealing yours, this paper, close it back up, and if you want to, you can slide it in your book. It's gonna stick out a little bit maybe. If you don't want it to stick out and take a chance of getting torn, you can put your flat book in a folder. It's up to you. Okay, and then go ahead and put your reading book back in your crate.